Hi everyone, welcome to Amateur Decorating Like a Pro. I am Catherine. Now this video is in response to the previous video, the one where I showed you how to do beautiful spears. And guys, you responded well. I did those in gold and here they are. And I think those turned out really, really pretty, but I always wanted to have some of the wall-mounted spears. So I created the ones behind me, and I hope that you find them very beautiful because I'm about to show you just how simple they are, saving you lots and lots of money. That's my thing on my channel, is to show you how to save money and do beautiful high-end things right there at your home. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go to work. Here are the supplies that you'll need to complete your project. You'll need skewers. I'm using 3 different sizes. Foam balls, cut them in half if you can't find this 4-inch one at Walmart for 97 cents. You can also buy the hold ones at Walmart or even the dollar store. You'll need a ruler, which is indeed optional. That is, if you want all of your skewer lengths to be even. A hot glue gun. Spray paint. I'm using 2 different colors this time. You'll also need wire cutters and a Sharpie. Now, as I showed you before, you're going to have this styrofoam ball at some stores and not this one here that I got at Walmart, and this one was only 97 cents. So we simply just score it with a box cutter and just cut it in half. And twist. Voila! So now I'm going to be able to make 1 large and 2 small. Now I want to give you guys a sense of the length of all of the skewers involved in making spear number 1. I actually took the large spears here on the very bottom and I cut them in half, or either I cut them into thirds. And then for the medium-sized ones in the middle, I cut them in half as well as in thirds, and sometimes I cut them smaller than that, and that you will not see on camera. Now the smaller spears at the very top, I simply cut the ends off, and then I also cut them in half depending on the space where I was going to place them on the actual sphere. So how are we going to secure our sphere to the wall? Well, I'm going to use the keyhole fasteners. I think that they are much more secure, but there is another option that I'm going to share with you. You simply make the indentation with the fastener and then use your hot glue gun and secure it to your foam, and that's it. Now, the other option is if you don't have the time to run over to a hardware store, Walmart, etc., then just simply, if you've had a soda lately, just take the little cap off the top and secure it with your hot glue gun just like you would the fastener. It works like a charm. Now, I'm not going to use the actual command strips because if I want to remove my spear from the wall, I probably would crush that little foam ball by pulling it too hard. So I suggest that you try the fasteners. And just like before, we want to start in the center. I love this idea, guys, inserting the dots along the sides, north, south, east, and west, and then filling in between them. You won't have a cluster of skewers on one side or the other, and you'll have a sense of balance, and you won't get dizzy while doing this. And, of course, when you do the sides, don't go all the way to the very edge. Stay a little above. And then start to work your way upward. Go for the middle first every single time. Here. And then in between. And I have a good sense of the distance that I'm inserting inside of the styrofoam ball. I have a good sense of it this time around, so I'm basically going in almost a quarter, 3/4 of an inch. And spin around. And this is directly across from the other one. I want you to see one of the glue applications so you can see exactly what I'm doing. It really does keep it nice and neat. And I think from before I've learned that I won't have as many streams if I apply the glue this way. Take them a little off, so I'm going to go ahead and do it the right way. Now these are the smaller skewers, sort of the next step down, and I'm going to go ahead and insert those on this level, the same level, the first one in between them. I just love the variation in the sizes. And I'm going to go in a little bit further so you'll see that they are actually, whoops, got that a little crooked. Go a little bit further in so you'll see long, short, long, short. Now we're basically on the second row. You want to insert your skewer along the edge, sort of at an angle this time around, guys, because you want it to start to get a little bit shorter toward the middle. So you're going to do it a little bit at an angle. And of course, I'm going to have to cut some of the skewers down different lengths throughout because I do want to see the ball kind of take a different kind of shape going toward the middle. And if you're worried about these being too long, you can also cut after you've inserted them. Just don't put any pressure on that ball there in the middle. Again, all these spaces in between the skewers are up for grabs with some of the smaller skewers. It's just going to give it much more variety. And to go with the flow with the actual shape of the styrofoam ball. Now I have cut some of the smaller skewers. Basically, these are the shortest ones. I actually cut the tip off the end. And then these are the medium-sized ones, so I just simply cut those in half. So I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm actually just inserting them sort of like every other one above that second row. So you actually see, you know, like when the sun shines, there's different sizes in the rays. So you're going to be able to see some variety there. So you see that? How we're actually creating a variation there. There's one of the smaller ones, the medium ones, and then we go out to the long ones. And if you do it little by little along every row, it'll be so much easier to insert, so you're not trying to, you know, move these things around or perhaps even break a skewer trying to get them in between there. And don't be so picky, just kind of insert them in between the spaces. That's going to be beautiful. Now I also cut some of the skewers at 2/3 of the length. And those shorter pieces from that 2/3 cut will actually be perfect to be placed along the top and along the sides right here. You want to have the shorter pieces in the very center. I also cut some of the medium-sized skewers into thirds.
And these are going to be the ones that I basically use around the crown of the actual spear. Start down the center. And keep in mind, I can go in between those spaces with some of the smaller skewers. And that center is really starting to fill in. I just love that. I think this is way better than some of those that I've been seeing in the stores. It just looks so great. Just mixing it up there. Just love how this is turning out. And the good thing is, if you just follow the dots and insert your skewers in the direction of the dot, it just works out. And I really like that. It just works out. And there you have it. It's basically done, but I love details. So I'm going to go back and insert a lot of the smaller skewers inside of these spaces and really fill it in. Like I said, that was super easy, right?
I was curious to see how one of the smaller spheres would look if I just simply took the skewers right out of the packet and plugged them in. It looks like it's a little spiky, but it's not a bad look, and I think I probably could work with this sooner or later, but this is just to give you an idea. Well, I got a little wiser a little late in the game, but I do cut the ends off of the spears over a box now. It keeps them from flying all over the kitchen floor. Now this is spear number 2, and to put it quite simple, this contains all of the scraps left over from spear number 1. I do the same procedure, north, south, east, and west, and then I just insert what's left over throughout, but I do keep the shorter skewers along the crown of the ball.
Remember how I shared with you that there's a lot of hot glue strings here and I was using my makeup applicator to get those out of the way? Well, a viewer shared with me to use simply a blow dryer, yes, to get rid of them, and it actually works. Let me show you. They're all just melting away. I love it, I love it, I love it. Now guys, I've done a mock drawing on how I want my project to look. So basically there are 7 circles here, but I think I'm only going to end up doing 5. So I have here the 3 sets of skewers. This one I'm not going to cut. I'm only going to cut the tip off of them. Now they have the ones that are flat on one side at Publix, but they're about $3 and I wasn't willing to pay that. These were only $1 for 300. And of course they have the 9.75-inch skewers at Walmart for $1 for 100 pieces. So these are going to be used cut in half as well as the longer length. And then of course we have the 11.75 length. It's going to be full length and then of course cut in half. So in between both of these, I'm going to have all of the variety of lengths that I need to accomplish my project.
The first roll contains 16 of the 11.75 skewers. Okay, now this is the second roll, and we're starting with the 9.75 skewer, and they're basically in between the longer 11.75 skewers, but they're angled upward, just filling in the spaces. Now for my third roll, I'm using 15 halves of the 11.75 skewers. That's around about 5.87. So as you can see, we're stepping down little by little toward the center. Now as you can see, although row number 3 is above row number 2, I'm still going in between the spaces of row number 1 and row number 2. Now this is the fourth roll, and I am using 13 of the 9.75 halves. So this is pretty much going to go into the crown of that styrofoam ball, and we're going to be almost done. And again, I'm going in between my previous roll, and I'm going about a 45-degree angle. And just like I did in number 1 and number 2, I finished off the crown with the shortest and smallest skewers. Now spear number 3 is my absolute favorite. It's more delicate and classy, and I love that it has that sense of simplicity about it, but when I add the bling, it turns oh so elegant. Now don't forget to leave me a comment and tell me which one is your favorite. Now begin the process by painting the bottom of the spear first. Now I know the fastener isn't on this one, but if you do have your fastener on it, go ahead and cover it with painter's tape. Now this is spear number 1. It's been totally painted silver using the Krylon metallic paint. And now I'm simply going to spray paint around the center of the spear using the Rust-Oleum paint. The Rust-Oleum paint is a little bit darker, and I don't want to put too much onto the spear. To bling or not to bling, the option is totally up to you. Now you can purchase a large container of acrylic gems from Hobby Lobby or Michaels, and they come with a variety of sizes. I want to say maybe 5 or 6 different sizes. I am using the large gems on the longer skewers, and then of course working my way downward. The shorter the skewer, the smaller the gem. So now we're all done. Spear number 1 measures 26 inches in diameter, and spear number 2 measures 13 inches in diameter. Spear number 3 measures 24 inches in diameter. And again, you don't have to use all of these in one space. You can use them separately.
So go ahead and make these for your family and friends. And don't forget Christmas decorations. This one would be absolutely perfect for that. And think of those people that you know that love a little bit of bling. Bling them up for just a few pennies. Now, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, I hope you will consider doing so today.
I want to thank my viewers so much for letting me know that they are not receiving notifications that I have uploaded another video. Well, I have prepared a short tutorial on how to do that with step-by-step instructions that you can do very quickly. So please click onto that video and follow those steps, and that way you don't miss another video. Thank you so much for letting me know. And as always, stay in prayer and stay creative.